I am in the mid-process of working on three things at the same time. I'm here writing. I've also been at the keyboard, and I've also been on my computer where I've been doing work with audio, sound, and other writing. So basically, there's three things going on at the same time. And this is a very fundamental feature of the creation of the Books of Magra. I like to call it multidimensional creative process. Basically, what largely happens with the creation of the Books of Magra is a ongoing relational process of this thing and that thing and this thing and that thing, and they're continually revealing how they relate. So in the case right now, I'm writing a very particular conversation between two characters who are discussing their philosophies and views about the community that they're in, which is a community of sculptors. So as I'm writing their conversation, I'm also writing about the history of that place and the larger philosophies that make up the culture of that community of sculptors. While at the same time, I'm writing music which correlates to the album to which that book is connected. So this process of working in different areas of the Books of Magra has been ongoing, and actually ongoing from the beginning. But actually at the beginning of my awareness of the Books of Magra, I actually took it to be a very linear approach at first, even though I felt the magnitude of it and all these different elements about it. I started out in a very linear way. I actually gravitated more to the writing at first. I knew that there would be music, and I knew that there would be other media involved in the project. But at first, the writing was the most tangible and immediate thing to appear. And so I went at it in a very linear way. If there's a series of books, well, you write the first book first, and then you write the second book. But when the Books of Magra came to me, it started in the middle of that larger narrative, and it revealed clarity about this moment in this book way over here, and this idea way over here in this book, and then there was all these ambiguities in between. But I started out in a very linear fashion, and so in doing that, I at first and over time I realized that it was a blockage for me. It was a way of approaching it that wasn't in tandem with its actual nature, which was to be multidimensional, which was to be very fluid and open to transitioning and moving from one place to another in the entire work. And so what I've had to learn to do is allow this process, is allow myself to be taken up in the momentum of that multidimensionality. Consequently, I've not only learned more about myself in terms of listening, and of course in terms of the project as well, but also the requirement of organization. If you take a look around the space right now, it may look like it's rather chaotic, but there's a great deal of order and relational clarity that is going on, even though I'm still learning how to align the project in towards its end, whenever that'll be. So this experience of creating like this with the Books of Magra is, one way to put it, it's what it's about. And so even now, as I'm working, I often will think about, well, how will I relate this? How will I express this to other people? And that too is starting to become a lot more of an allowing for myself of the multidimensionality of that. So, in a nutshell, the creation of the Books of Magra is a very multidimensional process. And even though I began tackling it, which is also something that worked against me, even though I approached it at first in a linear fashion, I've not only learned more about how to be multidimensional with it, but that is actually more about me than I've ever realized. This kind of fluidity and freedom to go from this thing to that thing without the obligations of what may often be considered to be an orderly process or outcome, I have found very liberating and freeing because it's much truer to my nature. And it's just one of the other things I have learned in the creation of the Books of Magra.